Alright, the purpose of this map and this game is to teach you how to make cool stuff in Forge. We're going to start off with the Confetti Maker, a flying elephant. Now any sand trap map will work, but I'm just using Blam because I have one pre-made. But don't worry, I'll walk you through how to make one. Now, as soon as you start, switch to a monitor or pressing up on the control pad and fly over to the behemoth, which is over here. I've already got one pre-made again, but it's alright, it's very simple to do. What you want to do is, oh, hang on, that shouldn't be there. Alright, stock it full of fusion coils and plasma batteries. Lots and lots and lots of them. Now, problem is, I've maxed out my fusion coils. You may bump into this too. If you have less than 16 fusion coils in there, what you want to do is fly over here, and where the rocket launcher spawns, there will normally be a few fusion coils, and over there will normally be a crate with a few near it. Delete those so that you can then put all of them inside here without wasting any just lying around. Now, you're going to need a grab hammer, so go ahead and make yourself one. Pick it up and hop inside the behemoth and drive. Drive, 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 drive. After about a year of driving, you want to come to this area, which is pretty close to it, and you want to try to get the elephant sideways on the hill, kind of at an angle so it's unstable. And what you do, first blow those two up just so that they respawn inside the behemoth, and come this way. And you see how it's kind of leaning down? Now this is the most important part. What you want to do, pick out any fusion coil, hit X once, then hit it again to go to summary. Make sure that the runtime minimum and runtime maximum both say 16. You want to make sure of that or else this will not work. Do the same for the plasma batteries, except you can only spawn 8 of those. So don't worry about that. Now, go below the wheel here, between the two treads, and whack it. Now that'll lift it up, but it won't always do the job. Hit it again, and again, and again, and again if you have to. Now, alright, well you have to pretty much experiment with everything you do. Here an assault rifle works, but that won't always work. Grab hammer normally works pretty well. Once you get it going, it's almost impossible to stop it. It really doesn't stop, trust me. Just keep watching, you'll see what I mean. And it flies, and it flies. And it flies some more, and some more, and some more. Yeah. Alright, part 2 is floating items. Bases and whatever. I've already got a pre-made base here, but again I'll show you how to do it. Remember, teleporters are your friends. You want to use lots of teleporters. Sender, receiver, and two-way all work. Just put it about where you want it. Then hit start. Hit save changes. Agree to whatever they want you to. Whatever. Overwrite. Or if it's a new map, then just save it as a new map. And end game. Be sure not to release it during the entire process. Go straight from holding it to hitting start, or else it won't work. Then, once you're back in the Forge lobby, just start the map again. And fly over there. And watch what you've created. Now, the teleporter sits right where it is. And you can't stand on the teleporter, so it might seem kind of useless. Well, that's what crates are for. You want to put a crate on top of the teleporter so that you can walk on it, otherwise it'll just teleport you. Or something like that. You want to position it right about on top, and then you have the start of yourself a floating base. Very, very useful. It's almost impossible to destroy. And so now that you have your floating base, you can do pretty much whatever you want to. I suggest adding more teleporters and therefore more bases. You can do it with a receiver, and I will show you, but I'm going to fast forward because that's rather boring. Okay, now you got your receiver. Very simple. Put a crate on it. Now fix the crate. There we go. Now you're done. And that didn't really work, but that's okay. It will work, trust me. So that concludes the floating base part of this tutorial. Now that we've done floating objects, we're going to do the last part of this tutorial, the camera out of sand trap glitch. There have been a lot of people who want to know how they can get a better look at the ship that hovers outside a sand trap. Trust me, this trick will work with any other map that you want to get out of. It's going to use some floating base and a little bit of Confetti Maker. Here we go. What you want to do is go to the very edge where the mines are and bump into the shield. See, it won't let me go any farther. Then move back inside a good little ways and make yourself a floating base. Just need one of these, yada yada. Okay, then once you have that one, part 2 involves you making another teleporter, and you want 2 teleporters. You want to position them right about next to each other, where you can put 2 crates lined up. So right about there will do. Again, I'm going to fast forward past this part. Now that you're back, what you want to do is fly over to where your 2 teleporters are floating in line, and cruise over here. Now, one slightly higher than the other. That didn't mean for that to happen, but it's okay. Crap, I maxed out on crates. Hang on a sec. Here's my old floating base, and here's my new one. One moment, please. You may have to delete your other floating base to use the crates and teleporters. Okay. Now, head back over here and call up your scenery menu. Put a crate there, and another one on the one next to it. Now, you have yourself another floating base. This is more useful than the other one now. You want to go to equipment and find trip mines. Place a trip mine on this one, this crate right here, the outside crate closest to the edge of the map. Place another one, and now go to summary and set the runtime minimum and runtime maximum to 4. Okay. Now land on it and start throwing trip mines. And throw and throw and throw until you have a pile covering the crate. Don't worry, they won't explode. Yet. And keep throwing, 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 and keep throwing. Now you're gonna want to go kamikaze. Kaboom. Alright, so you died. Well, that's just pitiful, isn't it? Now, the fun part in the game. That's okay, because we did the important part. Here's what you're going to want to do now. Switch lobby to theater. View your most recent film, which will be that one. And start the film. Once you have the film started up, just hold down the right trigger to fast forward and fly over to your base thingy. Now just wait. This might take a little while. Just watch. You'll watch yourself building the base and fast forward. But that's not the important part. Just keep waiting. Now you notice yourself begin to accumulate a rather large pile of trip mines. When your player stops throwing trip mines, zoom in on them and watch what happens. You don't want to wait, just slowly, frame by frame it. Boom. Okay, they hit the trip mines. Now press Y. That'll zoom in on your character and fast forward. Okay, now hit Y again. You're now outside the boundary. Free to do just about whatever you want. You can fly up here, check the frigate out, which I suggest you do. It's a very fun thing to do. Alright, this concludes the Halo 3 Forge tutorial for Sand Trap. Stay tuned for more tutorials on different maps, and send me your comments if you'd like.